Hi, ladies. Hey, everybody. It's Monday, and I am back with another episode of Monday Morning Coffee with the Doll. I have my ginormous cup of Joe. I got this coffee cup, as you can see, from Texas. If you guys follow my Instagram, you would have seen that I took a quick trip this last weekend to Texas to visit my boyfriend who lives there. And on the way home in the airport, he said that I needed a big coffee cup for my show that's in Texas. And I agree. I think I do, because not only does he live there, and not only is my grandma from Texas, but I have a lot of amazing followers that are from Texas, and I think that if I could have a coffee cup from every state and country that my followers are from, that would be an awesome addition to my show. So we're going to talk about a few things this episode. One thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is that I have started to do those live video feeds on my page. I've done them 2 weeks in a row. I do them on Fridays between 3 and 3:30 because I'm just hanging out waiting for my son to get out of school, and it's a good time for me to just have a quiet minute. I'm not interrupted, and it's a fun way to interact with you guys. I think that it's a good way for me to do a one-on-one in real time. We're all in the same place. We're all interacting. I think it could be fun to do maybe topics, maybe one today is going to be about pinup modeling. What are your questions on that? But it's a good way for you guys to interact with me, ask me questions, tell me things you want to tell me, anything like that. And it could also be a good way for a follow-up for this, like, Monday morning coffee, this is what I talk about. Friday, let's discuss what I talked about. So I think that it could be a lot of really fun things. You guys want to know how I do it? It's really easy. If you have a Facebook page, not just a friendable account, you have to have a page like I do, you can download an app called Facebook Mentions, and what that does is it allows you to do your normal page stuff, but it also gives you the option to see where your page is being shared, where your posts are being shared, who's tagging you, who's talking about you. You can see all of that, but it also has the option to do live video feeds. You guys don't have to download it to get involved. If you have a page and it's something you want to add to your page, then you can do so, but you definitely don't have to download it to get involved in the live feeds. When I start my live feed, it'll send you a notification that says I've started doing it. You click on that notification and you join in the chat. So it's really simple. Another thing that I think I wanted to talk about was a lot of you guys are asking me about a new calendar. Am I going to put out a 2016 calendar? Well, I did a 2015 calendar. It was the first time I ever did a calendar, and it was a lot of work. It was really tricky. And in the end, I was in the hole probably like $300 or $400 after they all sold and I shipped them all. So turn around the profit from the calendars, helped print all of them and ship some of them, and then I was had to put out another $300 to $400 to finish all of that, which was really difficult for me at the time. I just didn't have the funds to do so. So a lot of the calendars went out really, really late. And I apologize for that. So it was a really good lesson on calendars and how to do it and what not to do. So I do want to put out a 2016 calendar. I just have to figure out the best way to do it so the funds are there to produce the calendars, and I don't have to charge you guys like $60 to make sure that the calendars are paid for and shipped, and I'm not a broke bitch. So yeah. A lot of you are saying start a GoFundMe, and I think GoFundMe has just kind of gotten out of control. Not to mention the last time somebody started a GoFundMe for me without even my permission, I got tore apart from one end of the globe to the next, being talked horrible about and how lazy and worthless I was, and how if I wanted to do something, so it's definitely not something I want to deal with. But I also don't think it's fair to be like, hey, I want you guys to pay to make my calendar, and then I'm going to charge you to buy my calendar. Nah. It's not how it works. But I did want to let you guys know that is in the works. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I'm trying to figure out the best printer and things like that. And then I think it's going to be a different calendar than last year. Last year was all professionally shot and edited and put together by the amazing, amazing photographer, Christy Conner Photography, and they were beautiful calendars. And I was really thankful for her for shooting it and helping me put that together, but then on my end there were just too many issues that came up, so it didn't go over as smoothly as it could have. But this year I think it's going to be kind of a more fun, personal calendar. I think I want to throw in some shots that I've done myself that you guys love, like the Tearful Ballerina or the Harley Quinn Who Clown that you guys love. But I am working on that. I'm also, a lot of you guys are asking about prints for sale, autographed prints for sale. I'm also trying to get that underway. I've just been really busy. My schedule is so stacked. I have technically 2 days off a week to get everything done that I can outside of my job, and both of those days are also the days that I get to spend with my children. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of juggling going on to try and my kids are always going to come first, so as long as their needs and attention and everything is met, if there's anything that I can do in between that, then I'm going to do that. So I'm trying. I'm working really hard. But during the rest of the week, I am up at 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that I'm at work, and then I don't get off until 6 o'clock at night. I get home, and by that time I'm pretty much spent and I just want to go to sleep. But I'm working on it. I'm trying. I hear all your guys' comments and requests. I don't want you to think that they're being ignored. I'm working on it really hard. But with that being said, one of the main things that I'm asked about a lot is how in the world have I gotten to where I am in my career as far as the vintage doll goes, with everything that goes on in my life. I get a lot of emails from girls who are asking me, you know, I just started pinup modeling, how do I get to where you are? Or I've been modeling for a year and my page isn't more than 1,200 likes, you know, how do I do this? Or so-and-so said something mean to me, I feel like I'm gonna give up, yada yada yada. But the main question is, how did you get to where you are today with everything else in your life that's going on, and how hard it is, period, in, you know, the industry? So I thought we'd kind of talk about passions and dreams and how you get there. So my pinup career, I guess you could say, started back in 2010 when I created Facebook and I discovered pinup modeling. So I was in the rockabilly scene way before that, but when I discovered pinup modeling and pinup photography, I knew that was something that I wanted to be a part of, that it was a passion of mine. I've always been the girl in the family that loves modeling, fashion, hair, makeup, style, photography. I never wanted to be a pinup model, or I never wanted to be a model until I found pinup. Then all of a sudden pinup modeling was something that grabbed my interest because it was so different from regular mainstream modeling. But I never wanted to be a model. Like, that thought never crossed my mind. For a lot of reasons, I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I was pretty enough. I didn't think that I looked like I could do it. I'm too pale, I'm too skinny, I'm too awkward, you know, I'm too shy, I have anxiety, I'm scared, I can't. So then my biggest passion was photography. I wanted to be the photographer, not be photographed. I've always loved photography. I got my first 35mm camera when I was 8. It was a blue color crayon. I took pictures of everything that I could, and I still do. I'm by no means a professional photographer. I call myself a professional iPhone photographer because if I see something that I want to capture, I do. And it's my art, it's my passion, it's something I love, so I do it. But that's how pinup modeling came about. I saw it and it spoke to me in a much deeper sense than anything else ever had in my entire life. I always hated school, always. Going through high school, I was homeschooled my entire academic part in life, homeschooled. But I hated it. I hated school. I hated high school. I was not strong academically. But I knew that it was something that I just had to suck up and do. Because if I wanted my life to ever really go anywhere, I needed to suck it up and get through high school, graduate, and then I could do whatever I wanted. Whether, that's my 5-year-old, whether it was, you know, something that I needed to go to college for or not, I knew that high school was definitely the first step to growing up and being able to start my life in a positive direction. So I sucked it up. I got through high school. I kicked and screamed the entire way because I hated it, but I got it done. And then once that was done, it's like a big deep breath. Oh, it's finally done. I can decide if I want to do X, Y, or Z. So I was in a relationship, then I got pregnant, got married, and my life stopped. And my life didn't stop because I got pregnant or got married. My life stopped because I was in a really, really poisonous relationship with somebody who dictated where my life was going to go. If my life didn't benefit him in the ways that he needed, then I wasn't going to do it. So I discovered pinup in that relationship. I discovered rockabilly in that relationship, and I only was allowed to do so much. And then as soon as I started succeeding, it was used against me. You're a slut, you're a whore, you're a Facebook slut, you know, you need to just focus on being a mom, why are you so selfish, you don't need to be doing this, you need to get your priorities straight, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I knew that it was a calling in some way. I knew that the rockabilly culture, the custom culture scene, pinup modeling, the vintage lifestyle, I knew it was something that called to me. It was much bigger than just a hobby or an interest. So I tried my best to keep it going and building it through that relationship until that relationship ended almost 2 years ago now. And my career has just skyrocketed since then. Because I was finally, it was no longer used against me. I was no longer told how selfish of a person I was for wanting that or wanting to be a part of that or doing that. So I was really able to just embrace my passion and embrace what made me happy. And now it's, in less than 2 years, has gotten to a ridiculous point that I never in a million years thought I was going to get to when I started. But now when I sit here, I can say, this was my passion. I discovered it. It took me, you know, a while to figure out what it was that I loved and I wanted for my life, and I went through all these different things before I found it. But once I found it, I really grabbed onto it, and of course I came up against a lot of different roadblocks. I came up against a partner who didn't support me in it. I came up against bullies who didn't support me in it. I've come up against family members who don't support me in it. I've come up against friends that don't support me in it. You know, I've come up against the industry that I lost the cover of a magazine to so-and-so, or they didn't want to publish me, or this company didn't want to work with me, or these people talked total crap about my photos because they thought I was too skinny. Like, I've come up against every possible roadblock in this passion of mine that I can, but the most important thing was that I always kept control of it. I always kept a direct contact with why I was doing it, and that was because I love it and it's my passion, hands down, 100%. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't get to fully do in it because I also have other little people in my life that come first. So my passion doesn't get to be number one always, but the number one thing in my life isn't my passion. The number one thing in my life is my children. And so ultimately, they are going to come first. And then I pour everything else I have into my passion that I can. But my parents, from, you know, day one, my mom always told me, I don't care if you're selling lemonade on a street corner, if you're happy, you're happy. That's what you want to do. Now, of course, you know, you have to make sure that you're doing things that are good for you and don't put you in dangerous situations. Like, if you want to be a chef, awesome. If you want to be a cook, that's great. Cooking meth, not so great. Cook some freaking potatoes or some mac and cheese. You see what I'm saying? Make sure it's healthy for you and make sure it's positive for your life and going to benefit you in really good and happy ways if that's going to be the choice that you make. But ultimately, we have to find that thing in life that feeds us internally. Things like jobs are always going to be important. You know, money is not necessarily the most important thing in the world, but you have to have it in today's society. That's factual. You have to be able to afford to house yourself, feed yourself, and that's got to be one of the hardest struggles ever. So it's really important to make sure that, you know, you do things that are going to take care of you. Sometimes that's not going to be your passion. Sometimes you're going to have to do more things than you want to, like me, for instance. Pinup and everything that has to do with the industry is my passion. But it doesn't take care of me. It doesn't provide for me. It doesn't provide for my children to the point where I can say I don't have to do anything else but this. I know I have almost 1 million followers on Facebook and I have almost 50,000 followers on Instagram and I have almost 14,000 followers on YouTube. And so automatically people from the outside are like, she's got to be rich. She's doing fine. This is what she does for a living. No. To get to the point in social media fame and modeling to where you're getting a substantial amount of funds to take care of yourself takes years and years and years and a lot of time and attention. And as hard as I've worked at what I'm doing, it still hasn't been enough time to provide for me in the long run. So outside of everything that you guys see me doing in my passion that is the vintage doll, I'm also every other hour of the day busting my ass to work to take care of myself and my children, to be able to afford my new freaking Swaggin' Wagon minivan. Things like that. You're not always going to be doing the things that make you happy to succeed. So when girls message me and they're like, well, I can't get to, you know, as many likes as you on Facebook, but I only post like once a month, or when I can't get this biggest name person in the pinup industry to sponsor me. Well, but that's because, of course, I don't do anything to, you know, give them back what they're giving me. Or, well, I want to be a famous pinup model, but I don't want to work for it. I just want to have somebody take pictures of me, and I want to post them, and I want to be able to say I have a fan page, but I don't want to do anything. I can't help you. I can't help you because the fun stuff only happens because you do all the hard stuff when nobody's looking. You're not always going to get credit for it. You're not always going to get what you want out of it. You're not always going to get picked over the next girl because of it. That doesn't mean you stop working and give up. So-and-so got her picture put on the cover of the magazine over mine. And I feel like I worked so hard and I earned it. Maybe. You might have worked really, really hard and you may have deserved it. But you didn't get it. You didn't get it. Stop crying about it. Pull your freaking pantyhose up. Fasten your garter hooks. Move on down the line. Go on to the next thing. Life is not going to be laid out for you on this perfect platter where you just get to go, thank you, thank you, thank you. No. Life is mostly going to suck really bad, and then you get to enjoy these moments. But because it sucks really bad most of the time, when you work really, really hard to get to those moments that are beautiful and amazing, and you're like, heck yes, I did it, I succeeded, I got something that I deserve for once, it's going to be 10 times better because of it. So you don't get to just sit on your ass and do absolutely nothing with your life and then expect to be famous or expect to be rich or expect to have the best car and the biggest house, and that's not how it works. So for me, it's been a constant, every single day hustle, every single day. There's a lot of women out there that have husbands that 100% support them in what they're doing, will pay for their photo shoots, will pay for their wardrobing, tell them this is important to you, so I'm going to make sure that you can do it whenever, however much you want, you're going to have the best of the best. I didn't have that. I had to find a way around it. I had to find a way to work to make my passion and my dream get to where it is. So there's a lot, I mean, you have to realize that if you want something, if you want your life to amount to anything, if you want your passion and you want your dream to grow, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to do the things that suck. I don't want to. It's too much work and I'm tired and I just want to sit here and watch Netflix and cry over the Vampire Diaries because Elena dumped Stefan. Then you're not going to be a famous pinup model. If somebody at the office that you're working in is the one that's, you know, at home, gets off work at 8 o'clock at night, goes home, and is up till 2 in the morning doing more stuff at home because they got to get it done. And there you are. You were standing at the water cooler all day, not doing anything, and then you go home and you freaking turn on the TV. You're watching Archer or whatever the heck TV show is popular that you're wrapped up in. And then you go back to work and you're like, so-and-so got the promotion. Why didn't I get it? Because you didn't do anything to deserve it or earn it. If you want to succeed in life, if you want to be a baller, if you want to have a big fancy house, if you want to have the best J's on your feet, if you want to have the prettiest freaking pinup girl clothing closet in the world, do something about it. Work for it. From sun up till sundown and sometimes way into the night, you're going to have to bust your ass to get there. You're going to have to turn out your schoolwork. You're going to have to go to college if you want to have a degree in something. Because you don't just get handed degrees because you're pretty. Doesn't matter if your face is freaking beautiful. You're going to have to work for things. That's just the way it goes. It doesn't matter if you can roll your hair perfectly and your wardrobe is on point. You're still going to have to work to get the credibility to be that famous model. And sometimes there's going to be a lot of girls that are better than you. Don't matter how pretty you are. That's life. So if you have a passion, if you have a dream, if there's something in this world that you want more than anything else, it is not going to be a walk in the park. You're not going to be able to eat cookies and ice cream the whole way. You're probably going to have to starve half the time to make sure you get from point A to point B without being late. That's just the way it goes. He's jumping on the bed. So, I've gotten to where I've gotten because I have poured hours and hours and hours of myself into what I do. I've poured my free time into it. I've stayed up till 3 and 4 in the morning until I have all those emails answered. I've stayed up making sure I edit my videos, or I make my flyers for them, or, you know, I mean, I put in the time, I put in the work, and it's not always fun. Sometimes I just want to go to bed. Sometimes I just want to Netflix and shove a whole pizza in my mouth. Sometimes that's what I want to do, but you can't. Because if you want to succeed in anything, you cannot be lazy. If you want to succeed in life, you cannot be lazy. If you want to ever get anywhere to where you are stable and happy and strong in your life and who you are, you cannot be lazy. You have to work for it. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know what I want to do with my life, or there's no way I'm ever going to get there, or so-and-so is better than me, or I'm just too tired and I'm lazy, everybody else is going to pass you up. You can't let that happen. If you want it, you'll work for it. If you hit a rough patch, you freaking cry and you get over it. Life is hard. Getting what you want is hard. Getting what you deserve and what you've earned, even harder. 100% harder. That's life. You can have your passion, you can have your dreams, if you're willing to do the hustle every single day. If not, everybody's going to pass you up. You can't make excuse after excuse after excuse and expect it all to just work out. You can't procrastinate. You can't lay around all day long and then at 3 o'clock in the morning get on Facebook and be like, my life sucks. My life is horrible. Everybody's happy except for me. Everybody has what they want except me. She's got the best bae ever and he buys her things. This girl's prettier than me and her life is perfect. This guy's car is faster than mine. They probably aren't up at 3 o'clock in the morning bitching on Facebook. Get over yourself. Take control of your life and what you want. And get on that pony and ride until you reach the finish line. If you stumble, put a freaking Band-Aid on your cuts and bruises and keep on going. Cry in the shower. It's great. It's what I do. Nobody asks questions. Nobody can hear you. You get all that emotion out. The next day, it's like you're a new person. So, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. It is Monday. I will be back on my live feed on Friday. So if you guys have any questions about the topic that I just talked about on this show, you are more than welcome to join in on my live feeds broadcasted from my Facebook page. You can do it from a computer, you can do it from a phone. But remember, you guys are in control of the days that fill your week. You're the ones that have to make them amazing. You're the ones that get to say whether or not you're going to make it in this life. Nobody else. Not your mama, not your daddy. You. You're in control. I think that's all I have to say. Oh yeah, except, Gavin, I miss your stupid face. Bye, guys. See you next Monday.
Bye.